Welcome back everyone. Today we're in the Giants editor. We're on the 10.0.8 version of for Farming Simulator 25 of the Giants editor. And today we're going to be working on the dairy. And I'm Jewel, by the way. And this is the Jewel's Peaceful Valley map. And we're going to go ahead and get started. Now again, I've already put the ground to where I need it for the building. But y'all already know how to do that. You should. And if you don't, you can look back at the videos to kind of understand what to do with that. But basically, in this case, it's pretty flat. So just flatten that area, you know, and go from there. Now, I, make sure you face the building where you want it to be toward a road or whatever. So my road is going to come from back here. This is not going to be the road. That's just temporary, just for showing how to get there, but it's not going to be there. All that hadn't been done yet. As you can see, we're going to put roads, and it's going to be added later. All that's later. So what we're going to do is get started. I just painted this concrete here, which was already here. There was another building here in the FS22 one that I had done. It was actually a silo or something here on that one. So I'm going to show you how to get the building in, and then show you how to do the XML, and then we'll go in game and show what it does. Alright, so you're just basically, for the new people, you're going to have to, depending on what you have over here, if you already have the map and the locations and the buildings transform group, and say you already brought the building over, like on my previous episodes that I've explained, then you'll already have the building. If you do, you need to click on the whole building right here where it says dairy, or you can click on the building itself if you're near it, and then you can find it in the list. And you can then click on, if you're bringing it all in with everything, like the fences and the props and the attachments and all the stuff, and the decals, that's the ground stuff, then you can click on the whole transform group. Of course, if you weren't doing it that way and you were just doing the building itself so that you could add your own, stuff around it, then you're going to need to bring it in just with the pre-placed, this piece. So if you'll click over here on the pre-placed dairy US on the user attributes in the attributes box, you'll see it has its own unique ID, which is the Riverbend one, and it has the XML information. So it's going to call it from the main game, and it's going to set it up according to how it saves this building in the i3D. So you should be able to separate. You don't need this whole group, is what I'm trying to say. So either way that you do it, the steps are going to be the same. It's just going to be whether you do the whole thing or you do this. Okay? I don't know if I made that clear enough. I've said it before, but I don't know if I've made it clear enough in the past on some of these. But I've said it, But if you're just wanting the building and only that, then you need to click the pre-place thing. If you're getting all the stuff that came with it in Riverbend, then you need to click the whole little place here where it says place, because it brings in then all these things that's within that folder, which is the fence. It's all that's in there, as you can see from here up. Alright, so it just depends. If you just click this one, you won't be getting the attachments, the fence, the props, the decals. Okay? So, you're going to click on that if you already have it in your map, and you're going to hit Control B as in boy, left mouse click, left mouse click. You're going to put it where you want it. You're going to turn it with this little green thing here, and you're going to situate it. So if you was to turn it, if you click back on transform, you can see this numbers. So you would want to straighten it to match whatever front that you say. You had a straight road right here and you want it to be squared up with that, then you need to, usually it's like a 0, or depending on what you're trying to do. If it's a 90, say you wanted it to face that way, then it would be a 90 if it's square. If not, you can just turn it, left click on this little half circle thing and drag it to whatever angle you need it to be at. And if you need to move it left or right, you can drag it with these arrows. But in this case, I'm going to leave it at 0 because I want it to face this way. And then you'll be all set. Then you can save if you already painted or whatever. You're ready to go do your XML work. For the people who don't even know how to get it in the map, I'll quickly show you the path and tell you the steps. I'm not going to actually bring it in because it's already in, but I'll at least show you the path. go to your File Explorer, right click, click on File Explorer, open a new File Explorer, go to wherever you installed the game, and mine's on D drive, but yours could be on C drive or somewhere else. If it's on C drive, you need to, maybe if you don't know and you never look for it, try Program Files 86, then go, if you have Steam, go to Steam, then Steam Apps, then Common, then you'll find a farm sim or whatever. So if it could be another way you bought it, so I don't know how you bought it or where that path is, depending on where you bought it. My 19's in C, my D drive is my FS25. So I click on D drive and I go to Steam Library, Steam Apps, Common. Then I get to my other ones, 15, 17, 22, 25, 11, and 13. I put all the rest of them in here because that was after the fact. Okay, so double click on FarmSim 25 data, maps, then Maps US, then come to the Map i3D, which is, this is an i3D. When you see this, you see it says i3D format. You need to double click this and it'll open this, and then you need to pick out, you won't have all these if you're new, but I have them because I've been doing this a while. You need to pick out the newest version, 10.0.8 for FS25. Click open and it'll open. Don't click anything, let it open. Don't do anything till Riverbend opens, and then you'll be ready to go, because this is Riverbend that I took you to. The Map US is Riverbend. You could have went to the others. I'm gonna hit cancel. You let your game open. If you had wanted something from the EU one, you would go to EU and then do the same thing. Okay, or the Asia one, you would do this one. Okay, so you would open that and get in here and get that. So just depending on which one you're doing, and open it. It's gonna take a minute, so don't click nothing. Let it buffer wheel and all that stuff, that little spinning wheel. When you get in here, then it'll pretend this is Riverbend. All of a sudden, you find this building. How do you find the building? You open up map, you open up locations, you open up buildings. You won't have but one buildings. I've got two for temporary sake. Then you're going to open up productions area. Then you're going to come down and find dairy, US, place. You're going to click that. If you want the entire thing with the fence and the decals and the attachments and the props, click on the whole group that says place. If you don't, click the other one, the pre-placed one. Then you'll get just the building. Okay? So I like to get this whole thing. I'm not too worried about it, so I don't mind it being all that stuff there. So that's just up to the person. So if you want the whole Productions Point area with every building, you can do the same thing, except just click on Productions Point area and you would get all of those buildings. As you see, you would get all the way up until right here. This it would go from there, from the bakery to the tailor's place, all that in between. You would get all that with the productions area. So it's the same process as I've said in all the other videos. This is just for a beginner though, because they might be clicking on this video for the first time. You would click on either Production Point area or the Dairy US, whichever one, or this one if you just wanted that building. Okay, whichever one. You can use the Placeable Toolkit. I'm going to talk some more about that. I have some more updates on that, but I'll do that in a later video. But if you know, it keeps changing, but I'm going to show you something about it in a future video. But we're getting it this old-fashioned way on purpose because of all the changes that they did, but we'll get to that later. Alright, so once you got it, whichever one you want picked, go to File, hit Export Selection with Files, click on wherever your map is. Mine's in Documents. You go wherever your map is, the one you're going to work on. My games, in my case, FarmSim 25, mods, and my map name. Then I would double click all these maps, Maps US, to open this, make a new folder. You don't necessarily have to, but you know, I've just been doing that. You could just throw it right in here. You don't have to make a new folder. There's so many scenarios you could do. It's endless. So, but I usually make a new folder. That's going to all be dealt with later, so it's not like it's going to stay. So make a new folder and write Dairy US place, you know, underscore place, or Productions Point area, or whatever you did, whatever one you got, right? And you make that up, put that on the new folder, and then once you got the new folder, pretend it was a production point area. Then once you got the new folder, you open it. It would be blank because it's a new folder. Then you would write in this box the same name, dairy US_place, or if you did production points, you would write production points_area. And then it'll put this in there after the fact, but right now it won't. But you put the name here, hit save, yes, and yes to both of the questions they asked you. Parent directory, yes, and relative paths, yes. Okay, so then it's going to put that here for when you come back, when you want to import it, it'll be there. So I'm going to click cancel, you click save, and yes. Alright, so when you're ready, you're going to jump from Riverbend. You're already in Riverbend. You're going to close Riverbend, pretend you're in Riverbend. You're going to hit X, and you're going to say, no, do not save it. Okay? Now, you can leave it open for a minute if you want, unless you got a low-end computer, then you might not want to. But so that you can look at how you need to do things, but in this particular case it's all flat, so you really don't got to shape anything accordingly because it's all flat. But if it was a building that needed a lot of shape done to it and you didn't know quite where everything was on that one and you wanted to match it up to the Riverbend one, then you need to keep looking back and forth between here and Riverbend map. Okay, otherwise click X, click no, you don't want to save it. You're like, why don't I want to save it? Well, because it's your main game one. You don't want to save the main game one that's the Riverbend map. You want to say no so that if you accidentally changed anything or clicked anything in there, it don't save it and it keeps your original map. Okay, you don't want to mess that up. That is your main game when it's the data, the one that we just showed you to open. Now, and then jump back to your map that you already working on. So the map, mine is Jules Peaceful Valley. Look at the top, make sure you're in the right one. And then you're going to import the building. So you're going to click File. Jumped off of it. Import. You would click Import. Then you'll go back to the building. It should bring you right back to it. So if this was my last one I did, and I was doing something different than what y'all going to be seeing. I'm testing some things. So then you would click back on it and click Open it and bring it in. But if it don't take you back, just back up one. Or go all the way back through Documents, My Games, March 25, wherever your map is, okay, and go to the folder. So say it was Production Points area. You double click that, you click on the one that you just put in there, and then hit Open. And it'll bring it in the map. And when it does, it's going to be highlighted like this at the bottom of the list down here. It won't be up here. Then you're going to make sure it's highlighted, the whole group, not just part of it, but the whole group, whatever you had brought in. Or if it was production points, the same thing. It would be highlighted, okay? And if it's production points and you do have a map, locations, buildings, folders, then if it's production points, you just highlight the production points, hit the middle scroll wheel, hold it down, don't let go. Hold it down, drag it up to the buildings folder, make sure it highlights it while you're holding it down, the middle scroll wheel, and then let go and put the production points area in the buildings folder. Okay, do the same for the dairy place, except you would put it in a production point area folder. You say, well, I don't have a production points area folder. I have the other ones, but I don't have that one, or I don't have any of them. Okay, you click create right here, and you click on the transform group. What it'll do is make you a transform group. You'll see it's highlighted down here. You're going to roll up, make sure you see the name box where it says transform group in the attributes area. You're going to highlight that and you're going to title it locations if you don't have a locations one. I'm not going to write the whole thing out, but pretend I did, and then it would change over there in the bottom left corner of your screen in the scene graph. It would change that to locations. Then you're going to do the same thing again, create transform group. Then the next one it's going to say transform, and you're going to put buildings, and then you're going to go ahead and it'll make that one. Okay, so then you're going to do it again, and you're going to do a production point area, and create transform group, so on and so forth. You do each one that you need, and then it's going to create it. We'll just type HFD or something just so I can have it finish out that one. Alright, so once it's done, you can take that folder you made, which would be either buildings or locations or whichever one it is. So if you made a buildings folder, you need to highlight the buildings folder, the transform group, hit the middle scroll wheel, and drag it into the locations one that you just made. Then you're going to click on the locations one you just made, and you're going to hit the middle scroll wheel and drag it into the map one. Okay, if you don't have a map one, then I guess you need to go make one. So hit create, transform group, go make a map one. Okay, then drag the location thing into the map one. Okay, and then same thing, make the production area one if you don't have it, or if you didn't bring it in like I said, the whole group, then you need to make one if you're going to be doing the buildings all separately. It just depends on how you want to do it. Then you're going to hit the middle scroll wheel and drag it into the buildings folder. Then when you get the dairy one in there, you're going to hit the middle scroll wheel and drag it into the production point area. It's as simple as that. Okay, so that you'll have it where you need it. And then if you really wanted it to be moved up or down the list, say you already had some in there, you can hit the right mouse button and then move up or down wherever you want this to go. Say the D would have been needed to go up one. Say this wasn't a dairy, it was something else that needed to go by the C's. Then you can bring it up by hitting the up or down, depending on wherever you're trying to send it. Okay. All right. So that's done. Then you would hit on the dairy place, and then you hit Control B as in boy, left mouse click, put it where you want it, adjust the ground, of course, and then you're ready to go. Make sure it's angled the way your road needs to be. Make sure it's where all the view, whatever you wanted it to look like, is, and you're ready to go. Okay? You can paint the ground, whatever. Hit save. We're going to go ahead and hit save. I don't know if I saved since then, so we'll hit save again. Then we'll go do the XML work and show you in game. We're trying to get moving. Let me show you something real quick. That's just temporary. This is temporary. I don't even know for sure if I'm going to finalize this place. This is the paper mill. I ain't finished, as you can see. This is just decision making. And depending on what I end up doing with the water, because there is an issue with the water thing, the in-game once water slants, the actual the water plane thing, and so it wouldn't work right for this particular building, so I may make some different changes. I mean, yeah, I just didn't want to, I was trying to save myself a little work by using their water that was for that building, but the angle is causing issues because I had wanted it to run into this spot. So since the angle's causing issues, I may do something different with it, but we'll see. But I went ahead and threw it in the XML just temporary, so the building will show up this time, because it didn't, I didn't do that. I haven't done this building yet for a tutorial just yet, because I'm trying to decide about the placement. I like to figure out where I'm going to put it before I do that. But I did put it in there a minute so that this bridge will pop up so I can drive over it, since it's already sitting here. And then we'll go over it, be able to get to the dairy when we drive. But that's about it on that, and we're going to go ahead and go in the game, go in the Placeables XML and do the XML work for the dairy. Okay, you can see it when you get there. It's just a clip distance when you're that far away. Alright, so now let's go on and go to your map thing that you'd opened, or your File Explorer. You can go back to your actual map, or you could just go on back to the in-game area. Since we were already in the in-game area, and you were, just go back to the map US one, and then go under config, and then go under placeables, right click, edit with Notepad++. If you don't know, just go back through that whole path of wherever you installed your game to get there. When you get in here, you need to find the building that you're working on, which in this case is the dairy, which is right here. If you can't find it, and you roll up and down, you can't find it, hit Control F as in Frank, and then this find what box, make sure that's highlighted and type out dairy, then hit next, and it'll go to that wherever the word dairy is. Now sometimes if you don't spell it just right, it's not going to pop up, so just be mindful of that. Don't panic if it don't show up. Try a little something different. Now, on the dairy one, we're going to left click here, hold down, drag over, drag up, right click, hit copy. Do not hit cut, because it's your main game information. When it says farm sim data, maps US config, placeables.xml, that's your main game stuff. Do not delete this. You only delete stuff like that in your map. Alright, so now we click off of it so we don't accidentally delete it. we can close this little dairy thing. We can go back to the map, our map, and which is over here. You just open it back up. It's in document. Mine's in documents. My games Farm Sim 25 mods. My map name maps US config. So go through that path. Go through them folders or wherever your placeables XML is in your map. So if it's not in the US one, it's in maps. Then just go there wherever it is, wherever the config is, wherever the placeables XML is. Right click, edit with Notepad++. Come down and click at the end of this right here, hit enter, or put it wherever you want it in the list, so long as you don't mess it up. Meaning don't accidentally click here and hit enter, and then you separate all this and you throw that in between the middle of this, because this is a set. See how them go together? You don't want to break up the center of that. You want to click to the end of wherever there's a set. Okay? So you click that. Left click, that's all I'm doing on top of the placeable thing, and it shows these purple brackets. Click to the end of that, hit enter. Then click to the beginning, right click, and hit paste. That puts it in there, and now you have your dairy information in here. Since you didn't customize it, and we didn't do the placeable toolkit thing, we have the same information as the river bin, which is C36. I'm just going to say the last digits, because if you was, we're going to go ahead and hit save. But if you was to look in your Giants editor, you'll see if we click on that building and the user attributes of the pre-placed one, if you click in the unique ID area without deleting anything, be very careful, and you move over, it says C36. So you can see that it is that one. Okay, but it's going to save it to the i3D, and it's still going to work even though it has the same i3D number, because it's going to be unique ID, because it's going to be calling it from the main game, but it's saved it in our i3D of our map, so it still works. Okay, so and as far as I know, there's no issues with that. If anybody ever runs into one, let me know, but it works, so it shouldn't be. That's, you know, the placeable toolkit was giving us our own unique one. That's the only difference. But I am going to touch on that in another future video, so I'm going to show something a little different with it, hopefully. Alright, so we're going to go to the store item. We need to check on our store item. So if you did like I've told you in the past and have a store items already in there and you didn't take any of it out and you left it all in there, you're good to go. It should be already in there. You can double check it by looking in your map and in your store items XML. If not, go to your map, the US map where we were in the main game, where we installed it. Go to store items, right click, edit with Notepad++. Come in here and find your dairy, and if you have a blank area for your store items, then you're going to click to the end of the dairy, left click, hold down, drag over to the beginning, right click, and hit copy. Okay, if you did what I said and you put a whole store items in your map and you change the path from your map US XML to call that store items that's in your map, then you can, and you left all this in here and you're only going to delete what you don't need later, and you're working on each building one by one, then you left this in here, then the dairy one is already in there. Okay, but if you didn't and you have a blank store items, you need to come grab that like I just said and go to your store items and put it in there. Alright, and you can put these in the mod desk, but I'm not doing that. I'm leaving them in here. So, you know, that's up to you. Whoever wants to do that can. But, yeah. So we're going to click on wherever your map store items is for your map. Right click at it with Notepad++. Come in here. I left mine, so I don't have to do it. If you didn't leave yours, you would paste in. You would left click here, hit enter. Right click and click paste. It would put the dairy thing in there. Hit save and you're done. You put it in there. I don't need to do that, so I'm going to just back this back up and hit save, because mine's already in here, because I'm going to leave them in here. What's the point? What's the point making a blank one? If they're in here, and I'm already going to put the building here, and I'm not going to make it a custom building in these particular cases. If I were to, then I'll just delete whatever, or change the path and whatever I need to. But right now, I don't have to do that. The only ones I've had to change is the train thing, because I did make one custom. You know, I have a train video if y'all want to see that. A selling station train XML, I did the path to it changed. And then the selling station vehicle one changed. But other than that, I haven't put any custom stuff in here right now. Right now, I'm working on all these buildings. We've done most of them. If you want to see it, look at my tutorial. We've already done the bakery. We've done the can package place. We've done the cement factory. I believe we done, yeah, we done the grain flour US place. I think we did the oil one recent, the sawmill, and we hadn't done the spinnery yet. And then we're doing the dairy now. We've already done the dredging boat, the playground maker. I hadn't done the wagon builder yet. I'll be doing that. And then we did the terminal 2. I believe we did the silo 1 thing, I think. We did the restaurant, we did the museum, we did the ship. So we've done most all these. We won't have like 3 or 4 things left on those to do. And I think we did that and those triggers, if I remember correctly, to do with that stuff. I believe so. You'd have to look at those videos. It would be in the title if I did it. And then we did the animal trader actually too. And at one gas station we did do. And let me see. And we did the warehouse. So we've all those videos on my channel. And we hadn't messed with none of this. We left it, so we hadn't had to do anything right now with that. So we'll tend to anything else later. So there's not a lot left. I got a mold ground for this. You know, there's different other things we got to do, the BGA and things, but you can see there's no, I don't see no XML for that in here for store items. But anyway, hit save, get in there, time to get in the game. If you did all that and you've saved your map, you can go on in game. We'll go ahead to FS25, and I appreciate everybody. Hope you are enjoying. Please hit that like button, subscribe, turn on your notification bell, and share the video. Appreciate everybody. Now let's jump on in and see what we got here, and hopefully we can get loaded up quick and show you the area and how it works, and show you that it actually works from what we just did, and we'll be all set. Here we go. Alrighty, let's load that up. We'll just pick one. No tour. Go to the map. And in we go. Alrighty then, let's hop on in. Go and see what we got going on. Hit escape. And let's go see where our dairy is. Let's see. That's the paper factory. Remember, I told you I added it, but I'm going to be showing a thing on it, so don't worry. And I got to finish getting it situated. But here's the dairy, and you see it says visit and tag. So we're going to hit visit. And it pops us up on this right here. And that's what them other ones will do. And this is where you unload and load it, and it would sell whatever you're putting here, like whatever this building takes. So I'm going to hit F12 and hit OK, and it'll take... Let me hit OK again and go to the goat milk. Alright, it'll take goat milk. So, see it disappear? And look up here, it says sold. Or it tells us the income. So it basically sells. That's it. It's a Sellpoint. It will not make pallets. It doesn't have a wrench. But you can come look and see that you did your ground good. There is one spot I did forget to mention. It ain't all flat. This one corner now see, they don't have no wrench nowhere. But you see the fence here. If you get the whole group, you get the fence and everything with it. But that fence over there slopes up. Let's real quick go over there. But you can see that's the building. The one that's in the river bend. And let me run over here real quick. See how that fence is up higher? Because their ground actually did go up higher in river bend. So you would have to mold your ground up to that level if you want it to look right. So this particular one spot would have to be molded up. Everything else I believe is all flat. So I think you're good on everything else. Alright, that's the only spot you're going to have to mold up a little to make it look right, and try to just make that side higher. Alright, so now that that's done, we know that it sells, we know that works. But anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed. I'm going to catch you on the next one. Please hit that like button, subscribe, turn on your notification bell if you want to receive a notification every time I post a video. Goodbye, everybody.